Now, I'm gonna go through a list of the people so far that have been infected, other than Donald Trump and Kayleigh McEnany, which we've talked about. Bear in mind, we don't know exactly where they were infected, when they got it, but we did have this. Take a look at this picture. This was the nomination ceremony for Amy Coney Barrett. Just huge quantities of people without masks, in close quarters, hugging each other and all of that. We're not gonna go through all the photos, but they're giving each other hugs and all of that. And many people have been putting together lists of those photos with the circles around the people that have since been infected to get an idea of who they might have been spreading it to. So let's talk about who's gotten it. Obviously, you have Trump and Melania, you have Hope Hicks. That was sort of the start of this. You have US Senator Mike Lee, Republican, US Senator Thom Tillis, Republican. Since we made this graphic, US Senator Ron Johnson, Republican, also has it. You have Kellyanne Conway, in addition to Kayleigh McEnany. Bill Stepien, Trump's campaign manager. Chris Christie, who over the weekend checked into a hospital, and I haven't heard anything about that in like more than a day. And obviously he has comorbidities, so that's a little bit dark there too. Nicholas Luna, assistant to President Trump. John Jenkins, president of the University of Notre Dame. 3 journalists from the White House press corps who are not gonna receive the care that Donald Trump did because they were stupid enough to just be doing their job when they were infected by these irresponsible people. A White House press staffer, according to the Correspondents Association. And you also have Chad Gilmartin, another White House press staffer, who apparently was not traveling with Donald Trump or part of the debate prep. So apparently might have gotten it either afterward or in some other venue where they're spreading coronavirus. But that is a long list. It is growing multiple times every day at this point.
Yeah, I'm who was the Gwyneth Paltrow in all this, right? Like who was the patient zero of the contagion within the Trump administration? I'm curious. I don't know if it was Hope Hicks, but given the amount of campaigning they've been doing, which BT dubs, they're now sending Mike Pence out on the campaign trail, which is just hilarious to me. That they're like, cool, we'll just, second in command, the person who's got to take over the country. If something happens to the president, yeah, send him out. We just play with fire once again. But to me, and again, it's the cruelty, the irony of the fact that they are confirming a justice and congratulating one another for their confirmation of a Supreme Court justice a month before a presidential election, who is the complete opposite of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and again, who will overturn the ACA, kick millions of Americans off of their healthcare plans, and gut Roe v. Wade and or maybe overturn it, affecting millions of women and all people across the country. Like that cannot be lost on us. Yeah. How ironic and awful that is. And then this is the moment, because they couldn't wait. They could not wait to have this confirmation or this nomination ceremony. And it's also a testament to how contagious coronavirus is. This is outside. Not every one of those senators who was infected was maskless. Some people were wearing masks, right? Those White House correspondents, I'm sure, were wearing masks. And I don't think they were chumming it up with Kellyanne or Bill Barr, right? Like, this is contagious. It hangs in the air, and you should absolutely, everyone should be wearing masks and social distancing from one another. Now, we've seen that, like, for example, the Black Lives Matter protests have surprisingly had a low, or if not insignificant, number of COVID cases coming from that. No super spreader event that anyone has been able to trace. So you gotta wonder, it was the masklessness and the lack of distance.
100%, yeah. Yeah, and just, how much, like, and the thing is, a mask is a precaution. It makes you safer than otherwise, coming or going, but it's not perfect. But also we know, and we've repeated this over and over again, the severity of your COVID infection is going to be driven by a lot of things. One of those is how much of it you got. So if you have a mask on, you might get it, but you might have a low accumulation of coronavirus in your system, an easier recovery. If you're maskless and you get it, you might have gotten a lot more, especially if you were in very close quarters with someone. All of this matters. Now, I know for a lot of right wingers, the fact that some people have still gotten it is a reason to just throw your hands up and surrender because they quit in the face of literally any challenge. I personally think it should mean that we should be a little bit more vigilant, if anything. But it is spreading, and you mentioned Amy Coney Barrett. Hypothetically, 3 Republican senators now have COVID and should be quarantining. So I'm not saying that Mitch McConnell isn't gonna find some way to remotely push this through, breaking all of the rules and everything like that. But they're rushing this through when they can't even safeguard their own senators at this point. Anyway, and God only knows, I mean, who else? What, like, we're seeing this list. This is the most all-encompassing list I've been able to find. What about the people who worked that event? What about the White House staffers? What about the catering people? What about the people who set up the venue? What about the camera people and all of that? They're probably getting sick, but they're working class, so we don't even get to hear about them. They're certainly not going to be medevaced to Walter Reed. Like the staffs of these Republican senators, because if they're going to these events masks, I doubt they're being really like diligent about it when they go back to their office. How many people have they spread this to over the past few weeks? And we may never know. We may never know.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.